6, and then it goes out. Tell you, hey, you got to be in the normal operating range. Alrighty, so we're going to check ourselves right, check to the left, no traffic, no peoples, no animals. Then we're going to slowly lift up on the controls. Going to feel where the helicopter's at. Then I'm going to start sliding off to the right. Center of gravity and flight controls feel good. I look at the pad to make sure I didn't leave anything there. Alrighty. Then we'll set it down here. I'm going to make some adjustments to the intercom. There's the right skid, there's the left. Alright. So make sure you keep that microphone close to you. Alright. Because I got the squelch up so it doesn't continuously give this that wind back up, the background noise. And the volume sounds good for you?
Yep, sounds great for me.
Okay, good, me too. I'll turn the radio up. Space Coast Tower, helicopter 8006 Alpha.
Helicopter 8006 Alpha, Space Coast Tower.
Helicopter 8006 Alpha, southeast T-hangar ramp information, November, like a present position departure, due west if I could to exit the class Delta. I'll stay south of runway 927 at all times.
Helicopter 8006 Alpha, present position departure, approved excess caution departing non-movement area to the west. Winds are 3406, altimeter 3009.
Okay, cleared for takeoff, my own risk, and to the west, helicopter 06 Alpha. Alright, we're going to look to the left. PMs, temperatures, look to the right, we're clear. We're going to do a vertical takeoff. Nose are forward. We're going to get acceleration on our airspeed. We back off on our power. We do manifold pressure here, if you can see the manifold pressure gauge. 35 inches is our climb power. We use the pedals to keep her in trim. And then we accelerate to about 65 miles an hour. That'll be our climb speed.
Roger, spot 1 clear to land. Traffic helicopter just departed from the ramp. He's heading westbound. Do you have him in sight? Helicopter 06 Alpha, traffic ahead your left helicopter, 600 feet inbound.
Okay, you got the traffic inside helicopter 06 Alpha. Alright, there's another guy at our 11 o'clock there.
Tower, start helicopter 18910 is about 8 miles from the north for stop landing with information November.
You said 18910, Space Coast Tower, right in.
Completely different than a plane, I tell you what, that's pretty sweet.
It is. It's louder, it's got more vibration just for the nature of it. You got a big fan blowing up your top. But that's the whole thing. Once you get all that system balanced out nice, this is about as smooth as it's going to get. And the faster you go, the more vibration you get.
It's honestly kind of like a motorcycle if you think about it. You're outside air, I like it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I do have doors to put on.
Your traffic up your left side, about a half mile or so, indicating 700 feet type unknown. Looks to be south westbound.
Okay, 06 Alpha, keep a lookout for him. I do have him on ADSB.
That was for USAS 910 traffic off your left side, heading southwestbound at 700 feet type unknown.
Okay.
Looking for traffic.
I got a 5-2 Foxtrot. The cool thing with this technology now, my iPad has all the other traffic on it. It gives me little blue icons. Tells me their tail number and their altitude. It's pretty cool.
USAS 910 to the left down to runway 36, report midfield.
Okay, do me a favor, just hold that left lever. You just hold it in that position so it doesn't drop. It has a tendency to drop when you let go of it, so I'm going to just tune a different frequency here. Okay. Alright, I have control on that. Good job. Touched your first helicopter control in flight.
Yeah, look at that.
So you're going to get the fun ride. We're going to get the fun ride first. We're going to do a low level over the river. And then we'll go into a little training area and give you some stick time.
Sweet.
There you feel all the turbulence there from the uneven heating of the Earth's surface, but I'd say it handles it pretty well, better than a fixed wing. All right, hold that lever for me again. Hold it in position. Me shifting back here. There we go, just get my temperature gauge going. Okay, I have it. Okay. We're at 800 feet now.
Fly around 800, that we kind of keep it at between there.
Yeah, between 5 and 800. It climbed up a little bit here. I try to keep it less than 1,000, and the reason why is it keeps you deconflicted with fixed wing traffic, because they're usually 1,000 or above. Stay below 1,000, you usually don't have any conflict with fixed wing, but there are other training helicopters out here, so that is a threat. Tower helicopter 06 Alpha, frequency change.
Helicopter 06 Alpha, frequency change proof.
Okay, talk to you soon.
Probably departing to the north, heading back to Space Coast South. Helicopter 1780.
Space Coast traffic, helicopter 8006 Alpha, Rotorway helicopter, power lines at the St. Johns River. Going to be making the right turn to the northbound low level of the St. Johns. Alright, so I'm going to show you what happens if we lose the engine. So that's the auto rotation. So what you're going to feel is a little bit of a light button sensation as I lower the left lever, the collective, to save our rotor RPM, and then I'll bring the engine throttle to idle. So I will count it down nice and smooth here. We're going to lower the collective, left pedal, roll the throttle down. Now you can hear that horn going off, so we'll reset that horn. And then I'm lowering the collective and raising it to adjust the rotor RPM to R. Then use your airspeed with the Cyclic. You want to be about 70 miles an hour into the wind. Have a nice landing area assured just in case. We can flare the aircraft at the bottom and recover. I'm going to start bringing the engine in now. Join our needles. And now we're at the low level profile.
That was freaking awesome.
That's what would happen if you lost your engine. That's an auto rotation.
Wasn't as fast as I thought. Like, you...
Yeah, I tell people you feel a little bit of that, like you're floating just for a second as you get established. But now this is the fun profile where you're down low and you're flying.
That's really cool.
You can see the cows here and everything, and the birds. Little calf down there.
That's awesome.
What's up?
That's so cool. You can fly just like so low.
Oh yeah.
Last call,
Down in between trees. Yep, can't really do that with the fixed wing too much.
Oh, you can. See why you like it better.
Yeah. Yeah, it's freaking awesome.
This is freaking awesome.
usually don't have too much trouble with the birds getting out of the way. You're not going so fast that they don't have enough time. Yeah, so this is my little fun tour. I like to give people their first helicopter ride. Show them the maneuverability, you know, how you can pop up and come back down. This is stuff that we used to do in the Army, this tactical terrain flight. Mostly the purpose of flying this low in the military is to avoid enemy detection, stay below radar, that kind of stuff. There's really no purpose to do it in the civilian world except just for fun. But
this is a lot more fun, I think, than would it be.
Oh yeah. So.
Be crazy going in formation like this.
Oh yeah. Yep, I got some guys I'll fly together with occasionally. We'll do formation flying down low like this. And it's awesome. Got good temps across the board, water, oil pressures, everything looks good. Running nominal. Look at that horse down there.
Pretty cool.
Space Coast traffic, helicopter 8006 Alpha, Rotorway helicopter about 200 feet southbound St. Johns River, head towards the power lines just to the west of Alpha training area. Alright, hold that lever for me again there, just holding it at position there. We're going to start heading back towards the airport. And we'll...
Helicopter 1780 is over the interstate.
Sky condition clear.
I have the lever.
18, viewpoint 05, altimeter 3010. Expect a visual approach, runway 36 in use. The draft pattern altitude is 1000. Helicopters operating west of runway 36 at or below 600 feet. Use caution for bird activity in the city of the airfield. We back all hold instructions and runway assignments. Advise others contact that you have information November. Space Coast start information.
Surprised they got cattle out in this marsh.
Yeah, they're just, they're all over the place, but the water's very shallow. It'll dry out eventually where it's just going to be this main part. You see where it winds off to the left there by the bungalow thing over there where the birds are flying?
Oh yeah.
This will all dry out. It'll be just big grass fields during the winter time.
Huh.
And you'll see gators coming on the banks and stuff. So it's still drying out. It's still really wet right now. But come like February, March, man, this is really cool because it's all dried out. Big old flat lands out here. It's pretty cool. That's why I like coming out here to train with people and fly. And there's always airboats out here too. So if you ever did have to put it down somewhere, somebody come pick you up.
Really cool.
Space Coast Tower, helicopter 8006 Alpha.
Helicopter 8006 Alpha, Space Coast Tower.
Helicopter 8006 Alpha is about 5 miles to the west over the power line, 600 feet. Inbound with November. I'd like to set up, if I could, for a south to north landing at the southeast T hangar ramp.
Helicopter 8006 Alpha, Space Coast Tower, roger, report 2 miles southwest of the airport.
Report 2 miles southwest of the airport, helicopter 06 Alpha, welcome.
Space Coast Tower, Cirrus 918 Charlie Bravo, RNAV 9 circle to 36.
Number 918 Charlie Bravo, Space Tower, port circuit to the south, join the left downwind for runway 36.
We'll report the circle to the south to join the left downwind for 360 Charlie Bravo.
Alright, if you could take your right hand just with your 3 fingers on the top of the cyclic stick there, But you get a feel what I'm doing there. So I'm just trying to maintain 600 feet. If you see the altimeter here. So if I start climbing, the nose comes up, I just push forward just a little bit. And if I start diving like this, then it's a little aft cyclic like this. And then I use the right and the left to maintain my ground track. So I want you to kind of look outside, look at the horizon, keep her level. I'm going to let you start making the inputs, so a little forward stick.
682, contact Orlando departure.
There you go, and just trying to scan outside, look inside. You can see how sensitive she is, and you just push forward on it, and then you just bring it back. And just stay on there with me, and I'll help you out. Now we need to descend a little bit, so I'm going to just push forward, right there, hold it. Here, the altitude come off. You can see it has the tendency.
006 Alpha Spacecraft, got a Cirrus inbound on the GPS 9 approach. They're going to be circling. Need you to keep your speed up, please.
Okay, I'll give you max forward airspeed helicopter 06 Alpha. All right, I have all controls. Just got another aircraft coming in. That's 100 miles an hour, so you can feel that vibration build up.
Yeah.
The limiting factor is the forward cyclic. Rotors will produce so much lift, you'll run out of control authority, and the nose will just pop up with full forward cyclic on.
Wow.
And helicopter 06 Alpha, just passing over the interstate now.
Helicopter 06 Alpha, roger. Helicopter 06 Alpha, you're landing on the ramp. Will be at pilot's own risk. Wind is now variable at correction 320 at 8.
Okay, landing my own risk, helicopter 06 Alpha. We'll make the approach from the south to the north. All right, we'll get back down there to the ramp area, and then we'll give you some lessons on the hovering the aircraft. Start lowering that left lever, and then I'm rolling the throttle off a little bit, little left pedal to keep everything in trim. As we change power settings, the nose is going to have the tendency to go left and right as you add and decrease power, so the pedals make those inputs to keep her trim. And then we start our slow deceleration. We're about 70 miles an hour here, got our landing area in sight. Try to land into the wind as much as possible.
Cirrus 918 Charlie Bravo, circling south.
November 8 Charlie Bravo, runway 36, clear touch and go or low approach.
Clear touch and go or low approach, runway 36, 8 Charlie Bravo.
You can see how we gradually slow down, nice and easy. And then as we get towards a hover, we have to start bringing that power back in to control our rate of descent. Adjust our pedals. Alrighty, bring her back into the wind. She has the tendency to want to weather vane into the wind anyways. I'm just going to set her down here.
A lot of pedal work right when you're landing or taking
Right,
off.
you can see how I'm just gently dancing on the pedals. And then we'll feel for the right skid, the left skid. Reduce it to idle here, and then I'm going to take this off here, so give us a little bit more room here for your maneuvering. Don't feel bad the first time when you're learning how to do this, because people have the tendency to over control. So I do a 3 two-way positive transfer of the controls. So if I give you a control, I'm going to say you have control, and you say I have control, and then I'll reaffirm that you have control. Okay. So if I give you the stick, I'll say you have control, and you say, then I say you have control. And then when I take it back, I say I have control, you have control, you have control, kind of thing. And that's important so you know who's flying the aircraft at all times. For any reason, if you start over controlling or whatever, I'll just say I have control real quick and I'll take control, and it'll be a no challenge thing. But just try to get, when you're learning how to fly, always do a positive transfer of the control to make sure we know who's flying the aircraft. All right. I guess that went bad or something. That's 9 degrees. Yeah, that's not it. Coming out of the intercooler, it's 122, so that's good. Anyway, I also have a inlet temperature gauge here. But I've been liking everything. I need 98 at the manifold.
Departure 8 Charlie Bravo.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and wind her back up. Go ahead and put your right hand on the cyclic, your feet on the pedals, just lightly, and lightly on the left stick, so you can feel what I'm doing, and I'll discuss it. So what we're doing is a two-stage pickup. You get her light first, you stabilize all the movement so she's not yawing left or right, and then the second stage will, you add enough power where she comes up nice and easy. The reason we do that, just in case your skid's stuck on something or something and you don't flip the aircraft over. So, as I'm adding power, I'm adding a little aft cyclic, a little right cyclic. The tendency is, I'll show you, the helicopter will slide to the left because of the tail rotor thrust. That's called translating tendency. That's the thrust from the tail rotor. So we have to add a little bit of right cyclic to counteract the translating tendency. And aft cyclic, so the nose doesn't go forward. So we do this nice and easy, add our power, and then she comes right up, okay? So if I want to do a right pedal turn, I just push on the pedal just a little bit. You feel that? The nose just slowly goes to the right. And we got a little bit, we got about 15 mile per hour crosswind, so you never hover this thing for a long time with the tailwind because it'll kick your nose into the dirt and you'll have full aft stick and you can't stop it. So if that happens, I tell people stop on full right rudder and get her weather vane back into the wind, and then it'll stop. Go back to the left, I just relax a little bit of that right pressure. I tell people the power pedal is the right pedal, and what that means is if you lost the tail rotor, the helicopter would rapidly spin to the left. So you need thrust, right pedal, to counteract natural tendency of the helicopter to go to the left, like this. So the power pedal, so you always naturally have a little bit of right pedal in. And then the left pedal is just offloading the tail rotors. That's why she goes to the left. All right? The cyclic is controlling your position over the ground by pitching the nose forward, little aft, little left, little right. You can see that. So it's a little bit of a lag, the input on the cyclic. So you have to kind of stay ahead of it. You see me putting all these little control inputs to keep us stable over the ground. The collective is our altitude. So I pull up just a little bit and we go up. And then just creep it down a little bit when we go down. As I increase the collective, I'm adding drag on the rotor system. So you'll notice how the rotor starts coming down a little bit, 99. I squeak, when I say squeak, just a little bit to get the throttle on. And then when we come down, I'm offloading the rotor system, I squeak a little bit off. Okay, I know that's a lot of information up front, so we're going to start one control at a time. So we'll start with the cyclic. I want you to try to hold us in this position here. So you're going to the left, a little bit of right, there you go. Going aft, a little forward, and then bring it back to the sweet spot. I call it a sweet spot, but it's basically the natural tendency of where the controls wants to come back. Not necessarily centered, but I call it the sweet spot. And you can see how it lags a little bit, so you have to be ahead of it. There you go, and then you can see naturally I'm kind of already thinking ahead what I need to do.
It jumps backwards, it jumps backwards.
Oh, it does. It'll dump forward fast too on you. There you go. Not so much. You always want to try to be smooth with it. Some people have the tendency to just relax a little bit. You're still on with me. They'll over control the aircraft like this, and then you just, I mean, it'll get away from you. So I tell people, like I said, you got your 3 fingers here, and just nice and smooth like this, and you notice how everything settles down. And sometimes you have to, if you get a gust of wind, you have to make that big input sometimes, but you know you're going to have to take it out. So like if I'm going rearward like this, I know I have to make a bigger forward input and then a bigger aft input to stop it, like that.
So it's back and forth.
So it's like almost as equal forward and then back to the sweet spot right here. So right now with our CG, the sweet spot's here. Okay, so you have it. You have the Cyclic.
I have it.
You have control there, and I'm with you. And then back there. There you go. Then back, see that? You see how you came back? Just as much back as you did forward and back to the sweet spot. Forward, and then back to the sweet spot. There you go, see that?
Yeah.
That's the hardest thing for people to learn is that right there. What you put in, you have to eventually take out.
Take it back out. I can see that.
Alright, I have control.
You have control.
I have control, good. Alright, let's set her down here just for a sec. See how we set down, if you don't put enough in that right cyclic, she slides a little bit. I just lower the collective. Alrighty. Everything's looking good. Okay, you can stay on all the controls with me for the pickup. So we do our pre-takeoff checklist, is like I call them T's and P's. Temperatures, pressures, we look at everything. Water temperature, oil temperature, everything's a little bit higher because the temperatures get hotter when you hover for extended periods of time. That's why I kind of set it down every once in a while. Rotor RPM at 100%. And then down here the fuel gauge kind of jumps around, but I do it by time. So we've been running the aircraft now for 35 minutes. So we still have about 45 minutes of fuel before we hit our reserve. We could fly for another hour, but then we'd be out again. I try to give myself a 20 to 30 minute reserve of fuel just in case something happens. Alright, so we're going to pick her up again. So we do the 2-stage pickup, a little aft, a little right, feel what I'm doing. Notice how the translating tendency. The right pedal to keep the nose from going off to the left. Alright, you have the Cyclic again.
Got it.
Now I want you to try to use the pedals now. I have the collective.
Okay.
I want you to focus on Cyclic and pedals. Push in on the right pedal just a little bit, you notice. When you're pushing in on one side, relax on the other side. So your left foot should almost be off the pedal right now.
Okay.
Just tapped lightly there. And then your right foot is going to be making the inputs. See that? I just tapped it. Alright, give me a little bit of a right turn now. Try to keep this position here.
Right turn.
At maybe about 20 degrees. A little bit more, a little bit more. Keep our position. A little bit more, right pedal, right pedal. Hold that position right there. Go forward cyclic, half cyclic. There you go, concentrate on the stick too, you're flying that. You're doing 2 things at once now. There you go, just hold that position now with the pedals. It's not going to be much work because you're weather vaned into the wind. That's why I made you go in that direction.
Then on the handle.
Yep. There you go. Alright, I have all controls.
You have all controls?
I have all controls. Good job. Alright, take your left hand on the collective, this here.
Got it.
That's usually the easiest one to learn. All right, I just want you to hold us to this height here. This is about 2 feet.
Okay.
So you could just focus on the collective. That's it. I have all the other controls.
Okay, you got the other one?
Yep.
All right, got it.
So all you got to do, I'm going to ask you to just a little bit, inch it up. So pull up just a little bit. There you go. That's it. Okay, relax a little bit of that upward pressure and let her settle back down. All right, let her come back up again. You see how little you have to move it? And with the turbocharger, you don't have to do much with the throttle, just little inks. I wouldn't even touch it right now at all. But I'll show you what happens if you get behind a power curve. So I'm going to start rolling the throttle off. See that, how it's coming down and you're losing lift? And I can add throttle, and it comes back up. See that?
Yeah.
So if